Tim and Scott for Detailing Cars here on Fairbury TV. Introduce yourselves and tell us what we're looking at here.
Well, I'm Doug Partington from Australia, and I own Australia's oldest racing car, and we've brought it to Nebraska to have a good time. I brought my wife with me. Everything's complete.
I'm Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, good to see you.
Thank you.
John talked to you a little bit a couple seconds ago. What are the main differences between driving in Australia and driving here in Nebraska?
Well, in Australia, with an old racing car, you're not allowed to drive it on the road unless it's got fenders and an exhaust system that keeps the car quiet. And when I found that I could drive it on the road here, we put it in a container and brought it over to have some fun.
Awesome. What makes this car special?
Well, the history of the car is quite incredible. It was built in 1922 as a racing car, and it's never been basically off the road. It's had two owners. I bought it in 1958 when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And I've had it now 61 years. So it's sort of part of the family, very much so. But it's incredible history. It was raced from 1922 through to just prior to World War II, then put into storage. I bought it in 1958 and got it going, was very disappointed in its performance at the time. So under advice from my father, I put it away, and 30 years later I got it out again, and its incredible history became available. So we got the car out, repainted it, got it going, and I've been racing it on and off ever since. I decided that I would retire from motor racing, but suddenly this opportunity arrived. So like the famous Australian Dame Nellie Melba, I'm making a comeback.
Tell me a little bit about the specs on this. What does it have for an engine, and what are we all looking at in here?
The car is entirely Model T Ford or Model T Ford accessories. It has a Model T chassis. All the running gear is basically 1918 Model T. So the car itself, or the mechanics of the car, are 100 years old, though the car wasn't put together as a racing car until 1922. So the car's only 97 years old.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Top speed?
In the late 90 miles an hour route, yeah. We had a fabulous opportunity last weekend. We took it with the vintage Indy cars to Milwaukee, and we ran the Milwaukee Mile at a speed getting close to 70 miles an hour average.
Wow.
So that was a major fun day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You like riding in it as well?
Oh, it's a challenge, but it's good. No, it's fun. It is fun, but yeah, sometimes it's a bit fast for me. I have to sort of pat his leg and tell him to slow down a bit.
Key back.
Yeah, that's right.
Where does the name Wickner come from?
Well, Jeff Wickner was the man who actually built the car, and when we refurbished the car, got it ready to run, and I got the appropriate historic paperwork to run it in races, the Confederation of Australian Motorsport decided that it was the Wickner Ford, as built by Mr. Wickner, so it's the Wickner Ford Special.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other special memories of races in particular, or other driving
experiences? My pet hobby with it is passing cars with much greater pedigrees. I have a doctor friend in Melbourne who has a Hispano Suiza, and he said every time he looks in the mirror, that bloody Model T Ford's there.
So just kind of the satisfaction of knowing you're blowing past him. And,
yes, yeah. It's one of the fabulous things that Henry Ford did for the world, was to get motorsport into the pockets of ordinary people. Yeah. Not only was the Model T the car for the masses, it was also the start of motorsport for the masses as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For Fairbury TV, I'm Tim Scott. Thanks.